Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rukakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching your scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and in truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do the best to please Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man, this video, I basically want to jump into this article, just showing you that even these devils, these heathens, these rulers of the earth, these elite, those that rule the countries and all that, they know that war, that they can, that the war has to come. They are very, very much aware. And if you look at the majority of the people, they're realizing that the war must come. And yet you have our people that believe that it not doesn't necessarily have to happen. But even these heathens see it. Even Stevie Wonder see it, that the war is about to come. So they are trying, they all these countries, especially in NATO, because America, they've been in war continually. So they, they're always busy with recruiting and all that. And now when they, when they see the thing with Russian going on and the beef that which is not squashed with America, it's also making NATO see, but yeah, eventually it's going to be like that. The book of Revelation speaks about it. Maybe you're going to pull that scripture later, because they know that if America want to do something, even if they come together, they don't really stand a chance, on this moment. And they, and especially if you look at Holland, it's a very small army that they got, a very small army. I think if Russia would attack now, within an hour, it would be done. Especially these pussy boys, a lot of them are fucking chickens, man. But yeah, let me jump into the article. But this shows you exactly that they've been looking like, okay, we need to have more soldiers. What can we do? Because they already been handing out pamphlets. If children from 17 years, they get an invitation, to come and check the army out. They go into schools, commercialize the thing to work with the army and all that. So this from the NOS. Defense considers relaxing drugs policy. No immediate dismissal. No pills, no lines of coke, not even in your free time. The Ministry of Defense has a zero tolerance policy on drugs. If you're caught, you're immediately dismissed. A spokesperson confirmed to Newsuur that the ministry is considering relaxing that policy. Former soldier Pepijn, not his real name, had been working for the Ministry of Defense for 6 years. 6 years when during an exercise abroad he was offered a joint. We had finished training and it was the last free weekend before he went home. Everyone goes drinking and wants to relax and release all the stress of the past few weeks. He accepted the joint and it reaches his supervisors. They approached me. I was honest about it and acknowledged my mistake. But the next day I was sent home. A lawsuit followed, after which Pepijn was dishonorably discharged. You see a quote here. I've seen military personnel committed suicide after being discharged because of this drug policy. Soldiers caught using soft drugs in their free time usually receive a warning first and discharged from the second time. Because Pepijn smoked a joint while still on exercise, he was immediately discharged. Hard drugs are generally forbidden even during free time. The strict drug policy at the Ministry of Defense has been in place for decades and was tightened in 2021. Since then, commanders have been authorized to conduct unannounced drug tests at barracks. Every year, approximately 50 military personnel are discharged after being caught using drugs. Anthony Michael Ruperty, a veteran himself, represents many of them. He believes the current policy is too strict. Military personnel are not machine. People make mistakes and deserve a second chance. But this drug policy leaves no room for personalized solutions. The military union ACOM sees this differently sees this differently. Directly, John van der Hulst points to the exceptional position of military personnel. They are, in principle, subject to impeccable conduct. In other words, misconduct by military personnel, even outside of work, is not tolerated. There are military personnel who are on 48 notice to move. They have to be able to go somewhere within 48 hours, so they must always be sober. Former soldier Pepijn, it is hard to accept that his future at the Ministry of Defense is ruined by a single joint. Why somebody who drinks 20 beers or more isn't punished. That person won't be functional the next day, but I think someone who takes 5 puffs of a joint can do their job perfectly well the next day. Attorney Rob Ruperti also finds this inexplicable. He sees military personnel fall into a deep pit after such a dishonorable discharge. Not only are they never allowed to work for the Ministry of Defense again, they are also blacklisted by other government organizations. I have seen military personnel commit suicide because they were discharged due to the strict drug policy. And that's also another thing. If you know that you ain't supposed to do it, you ain't supposed to do it anyway. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense told Newser that the policy is currently being reviewed because perceptions about drugs use are shifting. The Ministry of Defense does not want to completely abandon the current policy, but rather shift the emphasis to awareness, education, and preventions. Anyone who crosses the line in the future won't immediately face dismissal, but they may receive a warning. And this is the point new people needed. According to the union official van der Hulst, this shift in attitude cannot be separated from the massive expansion in the Ministry of Defense is facing. This requires many new staff, particularly young people. Nevertheless, van der Hulst does not believe that the Ministry of Defense should be caught up in changing societal norms regarding drugs. So, yeah, I can read the whole article, but it doesn't matter. The point is, they are aware that they need a lot of basically cannon food. So, yeah, they have to basically loosen up the rules that they got. Especially if you look at this new generation, they be popping pills and smoking weed and being high on syrup and all that shit. So yeah, they have if they want soldiers, they have to basically loosen up on that things, man. But yeah, so even the elite see that is that war is around the corner. Meanwhile, a lot of people they still living, got their head in the ground basically, like an ostrich and living in La La Land, man. So this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and these things we've been seeing that, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Manifest, yeah, is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest hath plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. You see that? And it's exactly what you see going on. And that's what we do. We measure the time diligently. And let me read this also. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Let me just start at 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the mouth of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? You see, and this is not the end of the world as the earth doesn't gonna exist anymore. Now it's talking about the end of the world, the end of Esau's rulership. because in that time where the Romans were there, in Israel. uh, and Yahushua answered to them, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you see it on this now, you see it a lot going on. All these females, doing all this shit for these pastors and all, a lot of shit going on. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. So the end is not yet. This is the beginning of sorrow. This is the start of the ending of Esau, man. That's what it is. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Because when a woman is about to give birth, she's going to get this contraction. There's nothing she can do against it. She might scream out that she's not ready, but the child is going to come. The same counts for these prophecies. It's already in process. It's already in process. There's nothing that nobody can do against it. This is the word of the Heavenly Father. It will do as He pleased, and that's exactly what's going to happen. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. No, we watch and praying and seeing all these things developing and realizing that the coming of Yahushua is around the corner. Ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. You see that? And that's exactly what we have to do. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 9 and verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there cometh two woes more hereafter. You see that? So it will happen. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And like what I said earlier in the article, eventually NATO, is going to turn against America. America is going to be destroyed. And it's also written in the Bible, because if you go to the book of Psalms, it says he also, speaks about the daughter of Babylon, and the daughter of Babylon is America. And that's also a prophecy that didn't came to pass yet, but it will happen. And you can see it, over there, the crazy things that Trump is doing with his tariffs and all that, basically everybody's looking at him and they be like, yo, we can rely on this dude, man. He basically does whatever he wants. He makes all these rules, how people, countries should behave, towards each other. Then he goes to Venezuela. He comes over there with crazy weapons, take the president and basically take some oil. And now I saw an article about they make the oil business. They're going to make it private, meaning that companies, companies from outside of Venezuela, they can start getting this oil and get more rights than the companies from Venezuela itself. So it's all a money thing. Trump talking about the drugs and this and that. But we already know America's only if they go somewhere, if they want something, it's about their stuff. There's something that they can get over there. Venezuela might have the largest oil reserve of the world, so that's why America is so heated about to be over there and basically start ruling over there, And that's also the reason why he was so heated about Greenland, because Greenland also got a lot of stuff in the ground over there. Talking about China or Russia is going to take it, you know. This is the book of Psalms, uh, 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom, the so-called white people, and the J of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Because when we were going down, when we were fleeing from Romans persecution, they were cheering, you know. And even the Romans are the Edomites also. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So, daughter of Babylon, talking about America, so happy shall he be that's rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So, that already, so America should check their history. If you check the history of America, you can see what they have been doing ever since they set foot in America. So, they're going to receive the same thing 100-fold, man. The scriptures are clear about it. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and that's talking about NATO, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You see that? That's the future of America. For Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, and that's America. Yeah, man. So yeah, so things like this, you know, it's beautiful to see. It's showing us that we are in that time, and that the end of these devils is around the corner, man. So yeah, man, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rukakadash, a double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.